Today, we are going over everything that needs changed in Stumble Guys for 2025. This video is going to be a very different style, but my hopes are that Stumble Guys sees this and takes my suggestions going into this new year. So let's get started. Now, where do I even begin with this video? I think the way I'm gonna approach it is go section by section all around the home screen and talk about everything one by one. So we're starting out with cosmetics. And you might think there's really nothing to complain about when it comes to skins, but hear me out. With skins and Stumble Guys these days, if you click on them and I hid the name, you wouldn't be able to tell me the name of it. I mean, try for yourself. What's the name of this guy? Or this guy? Or how about even this guy? No? Well, how about we go back to the OG skins from back in the day, when it was simple. I bet you know the name of this skin, or probably this one too. My point being is that they had so many skins that no one remembers or cares about. In 2025, I would love it if they would go back to the simplistic, classic look. Or at least, like, tone it back a bit. Because, like, I'll make another comparison. We have a whole bunch of theming for stuff that isn't memorable, right? We had the steampunked, we had the vaporwave, and I'm sure it will continue. But I'm sure you guys all remember the banana guy. I'm sure you guys all remember the super guy, the gingerbread. I could go on and on and on. But these feel classic and staples to the game. But it's gone so far off the beaten path that we have stuff like this, a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on and on, and I can rant about skins all day. But the ones that have been the most popular over the past year, I can almost guarantee it, I don't have the exact numbers, have been ones that look like Stumble Guy skins and are simple and easy to remember. We have the sun, we have the nightmare, the pink diamond banana. I mean, even like the broil skin is amazing. But then we have the pop top. I mean, even the broken heart, turbo mix speedy. Like, dude, what is a special skin anymore? Like, oh my goodness. It's gotten to the point that nothing feels special anymore. So I think it would be good to add a new rarity, in my opinion. Something above special and make these skins so perfect that there shouldn't be any complaints. Like, in my opinion, this is a cool idea, but who wants to be a freaking shape-shifting box? And a perfect example of this is actually the Disco Inferno. Because, for one, the idea is cool, right? The flame on the top of his head being his hair and being like this dragon demon thing. And then you had to incorporate it into a dumb theme for disco. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but I don't see anyone using this skin. So my suggestion, rather than just make themed cosmetics around one idea, like the vaporwave or the retro, whatever it is, go back to making skins that actually feel like Stumble Guys and people will use and remember. So that's point number one. The next thing I want to talk about is that there are so many skins. And I totally am fine with there being so many. I know people might not like it, but we need a way to search skins. There's no way to find a certain skin in a timely fashion anymore. And I'm going to prove this to you. So for this example, let's try to find the bow skin. So I actually do know that this is an epic. So let's go and try and find it. Let's slow down a little bit. So scrolling. Can't seem to find it. Any day now. Oh my gosh. Wait, did I skip it? Can I not find the skin I want to wear? Oh my word. Is it even an epic? Oh, okay. Do you understand my point? It took us, editor, how long to find the skin? Like 30 seconds, which it should not be that difficult. There should be a search bar at the top that you could just type in the name and it should pop up. And on top of that, there should be a way to favorite your favorite skin. That way, you don't even have to look at them all if you don't want to. Because I know there's people out there like me that only wear like the same 5 skins. But if you are trying to find, let's say my icon skin, for example, you might pass it up and you might not know it's right there. But if there was a liked tab instead of like featured or something like that, that would be way, way nicer. And while we're here, we're going to be talking about probably the most hot topic of the entire game. That being abilities. And I'm going to be the first to say it. We got to chill with max abilities. Because everyone has max emotes now. And it's impossible to live longer than like 30 seconds per round. So in 2025, I want there to be a mode that nerfs all abilities. Makes them all like level 1 like back in the day. And I would love if there was a mode or toggle switch in custom parts parties to limit ability levels too. I also feel like in ranked, if there was a limit on level, it would make it so much more enjoyable. Now, I have heard people say that they want old emotes back, but if they just made it so the public games in like events had max level abilities and you just have the ability to turn them off in customs and ranked is limited, I think we could have the best of both worlds. But as of right now, everything in the game is busted, pretty much. But that's not all I have to say about abilities, because there's a certain few that definitely need nerf. And I'm talking at max level, and any mode just plain out feels garbage. The first one, max level kick, it's gotta get nerfed. I'm telling you, I have never wanted to play the game less after getting max kicked 5, 10, 32 different times in my lobbies. Honestly, I just want to show the devs really quick to make my point. Okay, so this comes from one of my most recent videos where everyone here has max kick. Take a look at what happens. As soon as we all use it, everyone becomes slowed. And it's at this point, everyone can get ahead of you. So off of one button press, you guarantee yourself a loss in a game. I can understand getting punched. I can understand getting hit up into the air from a kick. But if you're stunned there for 10 seconds and you cannot move at normal speed, I don't blame people for rage quitting. And the next emote that I think needs nerfed at max level, regardless if they have a level limiter, is ball. If you have max level ball and you lose a race map, you are genuinely terrible at stumble, guys. Take a look at how fast the ball used to be. Ready? You see how slow that is? How low of a bounce you get? Again, look at this. It's barely faster than moving forward. And just to prove my point even more, I'm going to go to the exact same spot that I was just in my other video with this max ball. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Do you not see how that is so unfair that it's not fun? Because it's disgusting. Disgusting. Make it slower, please. Just, like, come on. And for those that don't know, they've nerfed quite a few emotes. Shield used to push you back more. Lightning used to make you spin more. Punch used to throw you into the air like crazy. But even still, I think the force of impact on punch needs to be toned down. I also think max level rake, the disorient max ability, needs nerf. It shouldn't make you spin as fast and as annoyingly as it does. And those are the emotes that I think need nerf. But really quickly, I think Shutdown needs buffed, because the whole point of this emote being added was to nerf everything. But it's so bad that no one bought it and no one uses it. So if they were to buff this to actually have a longer lasting effect and impact, people might actually start using it and pick it up. Also, whose idea was it to make it a legendary emote? The fact that it's a legendary now makes it less accessible to everyone. And we're almost done talking about abilities, but as a final topic of discussion, ability keys are useless, at least to me. They need to rework what abilities keys can actually do and buy, because for people like me that have every emote, there's no point for ability keys. And the same thing that's gonna happen with the tokens from back in the day are gonna happen with ability keys. As you can see, I have 250,000 tokens that I can't use on anything. Absolutely nothing. And if it keeps going down this path, ability keys are going to spiral out of control and become absolutely worthless. So what they need to do is allow all emotes to be bought with ability keys. And if they want to take it a step further, they need to allow us to use these ability keys for something else. I don't know, turn them into different skins, turn it into gems. That would be great, actually, because if I'm going into a pass, I'm bummed out to see ability keys now. So we are finally done talking about abilities, kind of. Another big gripe I have with Stumble Guys nowadays is how many freaking currencies there are. You have not only the ability tokens, you have the ability keys, you have gems, you have tokens, and you have any currency that's going on for the limited times. I've seen people play Stumble Guys for the first time, and they are so confused at what's happening. All right, so we're finally done with the customization tab. Well, we're going on to the friends tab, and you might think, how could this need change? What's wrong with it? But let me show you what happens with my friends list. I don't know if it happens with you guys, but if I reject someone, or I accept a friend request, or I decline one, this happens to my friends list, and they all start disappearing. And now I am in a headache and want to not play with friends anymore. So yes, please do me a favor and patch this. Same thing happens when I delete friends too. And sure, you can just reset the tab by clicking back, but it should work in the first place. And actually, that's the only thing I have to critique about the friends list. Oh my goodness. Where do I get started with Workshop? They have let Stumble Guys Workshop just fade away, bro. They've updated it once, but that's not enough. They need to update it again. Do you guys remember when this was first added? More game modes coming soon? Well, that was a year and a half ago. So I don't know what soon means to you guys, but I want elimination workshop maps in 2025. Please, it would help me so much. And while we're here, let me talk about some features that should have been in Workshop a long time ago. Where the heck is an undo button? In almost all games that have level creators, there's an undo button. How is that not a thing still? So please, elimination workshop, undo button. And to be honest, I haven't made a workshop map in over a year, but that's because there's not anything that different to use anymore. What they added was fine, but it doesn't allow the creators to be that creative. Give me block dash blocks. Give me slide pieces from Super Slide. Give me the tiles from Lava Land. I mean, I could just go on and on and on and on, but I think you get my point. And I'm sure if I asked a Stumble Guys workshop map creator, one of the dedicated ones, they would have a whole list for me. And as one final suggestion for workshop, there needs to be a timer that you can customize. So either unlimited time to play some of these workshop maps, or make it so it's like a 1-minute countdown timer. And please have it show on screen how many seconds you have left before your time runs out. That is one of my biggest pet peeves when playing a workshop map, is that I just randomly lose because I don't know how much time is left. Also, I mean, I'm just gonna rant about everything. The featured tab is not featured enough. How are you going to have thousands, I mean, maybe even millions of maps, but only feature like 30 maps at a time? Smack 100, smack a 200 on the front page. And to take it a step further, what they should do is have a giant pool of these map codes in a database somewhere, and then it just spits out on your page a bunch of featured maps that you could try for yourself. Or make it so you could search for a map. That would be so awesome if I could just look up, I don't know, like SpongeBob, and then we see Dusk SpongeBob map, or every other SpongeBob map that people have made. And actually, on the topic of workshop, I don't know if there's an event going on with someone's workshop map, but anytime that there's a workshop map event, there's only one being played in the event. That is so unbelievably boring. And I can't believe I have to say this, but please, for the love of God, make it so that the B button is not also the leave button, because every time I try to use my B emote, I accidentally leave the game. And this has been a feature since day one, and they still have not patched this. This better change in 2025. And actually, I just messaged one of the best workshop map creators, Voyalabo, and he said if he could have anything added into workshop, it would be more frequent updates, which I agree with, and then the ability to change the color of certain blocks. I don't know why that's not a thing. Surely that has to be pretty easy for them to add. All right, so we've talked about cosmetics, we've talked about the friends list, we've talked about workshop. Let's talk about the Stumble Pass. I believe in 2024 is when we got the new version of the Stumble Pass, where they add a whole bunch more content, but in my opinion, it feels a lot more empty. The reason being is because back in the day, the thing at the final tier was so necessary to have and cool that it didn't matter what was in the rest of the pass. Like, it was a whole bunch of filler and then a banger at the end. Nowadays, there's just like meh throughout the like entire thing. Like, if I look page to page, meh, meh. Meh. So again, my suggestion is to really hone in on what people want and make it banger after banger. Like, instead of putting Hollow Paws or DJ Heck Jr., all you gotta do is throw something like the Nightmare, the Solar Eclipse, or even something like the Origami that you know players are going to want to get. And please, I'm begging you, stop with this shards box theming for these seasons. Half of the things in the boxes that are based around the theme aren't even cool. You have a chance at raspberries, stumble praise, cringe. Like, why would anyone want to receive those out of the box? And just one final thing, I know that they go for themes and they try to make all the skins fit into a category when they do one of these passes, but I truly feel if they just made the skin something people would like and use every single day and gave stuff that would actually be used by the player in the rest of the pass, it would be so much better than these jumbled together seasons. And actually, my next point goes along with this. So the current season right now is Vaporwave, right? And in case you didn't see the beta, they added a new map. And I know they had the job to make the new map Vaporwave, but because of either deadlines or theming or whatever, they made one of the worst maps to date. And sure, it looks cool. Just take a look at this. Wow, crazy, right? It looks good, but it's a capture the flag team map, which no one likes capture the flag maps, notoriously. People don't like team maps, notoriously, in Stumble Guys. And people also don't like rocket launchers in Stumble Guys. And yet, I don't know who decided to make this the theme, make this the level, but it doesn't work at all. And we finally have moved on from the Stumble Pass. Next, we got events. So with events, I have a bunch of mixed feelings towards it. One being that it feels like they're thrown together, especially the rewards, right? And I'll show you what I mean. So for the first one, we have the best event of 2024, which is all just block dash teams. How does that make any sense? Call it block dash teams. And then it has these vibe and 2025 boxes. Let's go over to New Year's Knockout. They're Christmas boxes. Christmas was what, 2-3 weeks ago? What are we doing? Like, actually, what are we doing? Not to mention, I've experienced that there's so many events that go on that people aren't even in them. It's just mostly bots. I'll just demonstrate really quick. Let's play Stumble Rewind, the one with the Christmas boxes. Let's just count how many bots there are out of 32 players. All right, so I see 1, 2, 3, 4 real players. Anyone with a ranked icon means that they're real. So I see 4. Let's go to the other side. That's all bots. So out of 32 players, there were 5 real ones, including me. Out of 32 players, 5 of them were real. And I'm recording this on a Friday at 6 p.m. Moving on. So for events, there's obviously too many of them going on at once. So many, in fact, that, like I showed you, it's all bots in my games. So what they need to do is tone it back with the events, the amount of them, and make the rewards worth playing for. I remember back in the day, you would grind events to get that one skin that you desperately wanted. Like back in the day, there was a block dash event that you had to be in like the top 1% and you got this guy. So moving on from events, we have ranked. Notice how I have critiques for absolutely everything in the game. I wish I didn't have to rant on a YouTube video about everything wrong, but there's literally no other option. So for ranked, right? When it first came out, people grinded it because it was so fun. And some people still do, right? Don't get me wrong, there are those people out there. But ranked does not feel special anymore at all. So much so that me and a whole bunch of other content creators and players don't get champion because there's no reward for it. You get like 5,000 ability tokens, which you get more for getting the pass. And if we go and look at what you can get for 5,000 ability tokens, oh, great. I can upgrade my speed gel one time. You know how long it takes to get champion? And you know what it looks like? Let me just demonstrate what a wood 1 lobby looks like. This actually brings me to my next point. When you hit champion, you shouldn't go all the way down to wood. In 2025, they should make it so you reset, I don't know, 2 ranks, 3 ranks maybe. Going back down to wood is just not enjoyable. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So this is a classic wood 1 lobby. Let's take a look around us. Bot, 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 bot. Oh, they jumped off the map. So in order for me to win, I either just have to mindlessly sit here and jump platform to platform and wait for them to all get out, or I just use my pay to win and speed up the process. Neither of which are fun. Hey, buddy, I'm sorry you just downloaded the game, but goodbye. And this isn't something that just happens in wood. Bro, this happens at lots of ranks. Like, this is a real person. And it's actually interesting competition, but this is 1 player. And I just won because I paid more money. So like I was mentioning earlier, have level capped for abilities. Did you see that? So what they did before is you get a boost for being a certain rank before, right? I got 15 there. That means I have to sit through 4 more games of that in order to get bronze. And then it's gonna happen again to get to silver, to get to gold. And again, for getting those ranks, I'm only getting 700 ability tokens, which I don't need. So for hitting certain ranks, you should get something that is specific to that rank. Obviously, you have a little emblem next to your name when you go in game, so it looks cool, but it doesn't take that much skill to hit champion. It's literally just how much you play. Like, imagine instead of getting ability tokens, you got an exclusive skin for that rank. This is just an example, but the golden sensei could also be the bronze sensei, or could be red for champion, or blue for platinum. Okay, this one really doesn't work. But you see what I mean. So we had ranked, now we're on to tournaments. And I know a lot of people on the subject of tournaments want the OG Stumble Guys tournaments back. And if they somehow pull that off, that would be amazing. I would love that in 2025, but I don't know if that's even possible nowadays. But let's talk about what is currently in the game with these new tournaments. First up, let's take a look at the rewards. Nothing really that great. Reuse skin, bunch of boxes with swords in them. And you might think, oh, you could just play to earn gems. But if you're paying 20 gems to enter to get 25 if you win, you're literally better off picking pennies off the ground than grinding this. I'm not joking either. You could collect 100 pennies before you got, I don't know, $1 worth of gems from this. And also, they don't do a great job of displaying what actually is happening here. We have the last stumbler standing, right? But it has random maps, so you're not know what you're getting into. If it said elim only or had picture of block dash, that's great. But the same thing here. Like, it's 16 players, 3 rounds, but like, what am I getting into? At least with the legendary block dash one, it has everything on point. But this has been in the game for so long that they better have this down lock. All right, so that has been tournaments. We're now going on to normal games. Now, normal games are fine for the most part, but sometimes they decide to put stuff in the map pool that is absolutely atrocious. For the most part, it's fine. I don't know if it's still going on now, but there was like a few months or a couple weeks where I was getting Barbie after Barbie after Barbie. And that should be an event. Collection map should not be in the regular map pool. It's all bots. Everyone's a bot. Look. Okay. I think you see my point, though. And you know what? I can't blame people. Why would they play a regular game when they could play an event that they actually get rewards for? But at the same time, there's so many buttons to click. There's so many different options that the players are being so spread out that the competition aren't playing against each other. Like, it would be so much more cohesive if they toned basically everything back and just did a few things very, very well. Instead, it looks like a mess right now. I'm gonna be honest, it looks like a mess right now. But it can be fixed. It can be fixed. I am hopeful in 2025. All right. So moving around the screen, we have the advertisements that are on the homepage. Obviously, if it was up to me, I'd just get rid of it because this pops up and switches every 2 seconds. There's not much else to be said there. Also, on the topic of advertisements, every time you first enter the game, there's a pop-up in your face. If we could like not do that, that'd be great too. All right, we're finally to custom parties. We talked about this earlier, but the option to limit the levels of abilities would be great. And I've actually talked to someone at Stumble Guys about this, where they mentioned that you could still play like OG Stumble Guys if you turn off all the emotes. That doesn't feel like OG Stumble Guys. I want to be able to use my emotes without it literally ruining the experience for me. Like, this is what I'm talking about. I know this is when Lightning was still broken, but look at the experience that is going on here. That is not Stumble Guys. That is literally a vortex of pay to win. The fact that this was even a thing at one point is ridiculous. If you want another example, let's take a look at Max Rake. This has not been nerfed, by the way. So if 32 people of my lobby have Max Rake, this is what it looks like. You can't move, and you get teleported across the screen. So when you're telling me, like, yeah, you could turn it off, why should this be a thing in the first place? So please, 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 add an option to limit levels of abilities. Just like right on this screen, there should be like a bar that you could slide down, and you just limit them. Anyway. All right, I actually don't have that many critiques about customs because I still feel that customs in Stumble Guys are still like the best of any game I played ever, but it's getting to a point where the map selection is getting pretty cluttered, and it's mostly to do with the fact that all the teams maps show. So if I have any small critique, it's to hide the team maps until you select them because people don't play them anyway. So that's custom parties. Woo! Making progress. Next, we got missions. Again, and you guys know what I'm gonna say about missions. It's repetitive and not special. And going back to what I was saying before, you could get 750 ability tokens in the missions for just playing like, I don't know, 5 minutes every day. But it will take you literal hours of your life away from you getting up to like master and champion. And as of recording this, they haven't had special or challenge missions because everyone's on holiday, I'm sure. So I'll cut them some slack in this regard. But again, point I want to hit home is that the things that are in the missions, in the rewards, need to be special. But there's really not much else to say related to the mission. Just make them better, literally. Okay, next we are going to talk about settings. What to talk about with settings? Anything? I don't believe so, at least right now. Okay, we're almost around the entire home screen of Stumble, guys. But before we even talk about the shop, we have Stumble Journey, which it hasn't changed since they first added it. I don't know why they haven't, but it's not great. I mean, obviously the very last thing could have something good, keyword could, but most of the time you're getting junk. Like, I would say 90% of the time. Oh, literally 90. I mean, it tells you. So we're at 85% to get ability tokens or gems. And then the rest, okay, no. Let me calculate this real quick. So if we add up the percentage to get ability tokens and gems and all of the rare skins, what percentage chance do you think that is? To get rares, gems, and ability tokens. The three worst things in here. 94%. So that means you have a 6% chance to get something besides that. So the big ticket item at the very end of all these tiers of grinding so long and hard for, you're getting 5 gems, 10 gems. 50 gems, 200, 300 ability tokens, or, oh my gosh, the chicken skin. Woo! Stumble Journey needs to change, and the master boxes definitely need something cooler. Like, let's say you get incredibly lucky. You're gonna give them the free spirit. Are we serious right now? Or the tater skin. Imagine you see a mythic on your screen, and you get mashed potatoes. No, just no. Okay. We have passed Stumble Journey, and we're now at the profile. Anything I would change here? Not really. But just to prove my point even further, I got Champion 4 seasons, and then I've just got Gold, because it's not worth it. But now, we have the shop. And this was gonna take probably a minute. The Super Lucky Wheel sucks. They haven't added anything in it for like a year. It used to be special. When they added something in there, it got people excited. Instead, they're adding things into bundles that you have to pay for. And even then, the skins aren't even that cool. You telling me you want the Party Bone skin? Bro, the Stumble Pass special, keyword special, you're getting legendary skin, 1,000 gems. 1,000 gems. Dude. I didn't even know that this was in the shop, but like after evaluating it, this might be one of the worst bundles I've ever seen. Because if we just take a look at my bundle that was just in the shop, for $10, you're getting my skin, my legendary trail, and 2,500 gems for $10. This is giving you half of it, less than half. This is so unbelievably bad. And not to mention, let's take a look at this shop. So cluttered. And actually, to take it a step further, I'm gonna show you what it looks like to a newer player. So add, then we go to the shop. We got another pop-up. Let's see how many bundles we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There are 30 different things that you could click right now. Do you remember when there were 5 or 10, 15 maybe? Like, dude, what is going on? I understand them adding these tabs at the bottom, but it doesn't simplify it at all. Wait, I just realized on the site version of this game, you could buy $100 worth of gems? Since when? I wonder why that's a thing. If someone knows, let me know in the comments. So we're gonna keep looking at it from the new player's point of view. Before, back in the day, you would see the lucky wheel that was free. You would have a couple wheels over here that were like 50, 90 gems. And then there were all these ones over here. That was basically it. So if you are a new player playing this game for the first time, it is so unbelievably difficult to get into the game nowadays. Back in the day, all you would do is see the play button. Oh, and I play it for the first time. Now you get an ad that brings you into the store. You get a second pop-up that you have something for 15 bucks. You have offers over here. You have all this to look at. And you're like, oh my gosh, where do I even begin? And it doesn't end there. Because like I was talking about earlier, with the ability keys, let's take a look. We have the dice emote for $15. But I have my 800 ability keys. Oh, let me just get the... Oh, I can't get the dice. Because you can't use your ability keys, which were added into the game, to get emotes with. What's the point of ability keys if you can't buy the ability? So you'll notice all the legendaries cannot be bought with ability keys. Just continuing on, like this wheel, just as a great example. Legendary wheel. How is this a legendary wheel? You have mythics, specials. And there's no theme in this whatsoever. This is slop. I'm just gonna call it like it is. This is the most sloppy wheel I've ever seen, ever. I'm just gonna critique everything. See, this one is like back in the day. You would have one theme, you would have one target thing you're going after, the narwhal. And then everything else, I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter. It would be cool if they related to narwhals, but in this case, there's a reason to spin this. Over here, it's just like, ugh, gosh. All right, we got Stumble Rewind. What is going on here? I don't know. I mean, I guess these were all added this year, but why would they pick these skins? Oh my gosh. All right, don't even get me started on Stumble tokens. That is another issue of itself. I have 252,000 ability tokens. So hopefully this year they fix that. They added this box a while back, but they haven't updated what's inside of them. They're still just mid. Oh, let's do another one. Mid. Oh, that's a bad example. I like that skin. That's really good. Okay, I think that's where we're gonna end things off. But that has all been my opinion, and I made this video because I still care about the game. And in 2025, I want them to actually hear me out and hear what you guys are saying. So down in the comments, give Stumble Guys some feedback on how to make the game even better. Because I still love Stumble Guys. I'm still going to be making videos on it, but I just want to see the game grow and be the game it was supposed to be. Because it's so jumbled together now that it feels like it's all over the place. If you guys enjoyed this style video and you want to see more, let me know down in the comments. I do apologize if it was a bit boring or ranty or me just yapping for, I don't know, 30 minutes. But I feel like this was all stuff that needed to be said, and this was kind of just the tip of the iceberg. I didn't even talk about specific map glitches. I didn't even talk about glitches in general. But if we look back on 2024, the amount of glitches we had with every single update added, oh my gosh. But that is the end of the video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.